Hello, it's the Whiskey Hobbit here, doing a video after quite a while. Just haven't had the time. Well, I just haven't got around to it. I'm doing a review of the Kilkerran, relatively new, heavily peated. Now, I tried this a little while ago, and I thought it was really good. But I, people I've spoken to have said either they really liked it or they said they found it nice but just not mature enough. There wasn't enough to it. It is, I think, quite young, but it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, because the whole point of this, I mean, it states on the label heavily peated. It is just for the sake of being an extremely smoky whiskey, but it's not just smoke. To me, I think there's more to it, but it's been a while since I've tried it. As you can see, this is the first pour I've had of this bottle, actually, to be honest. But yeah, I just wanted to give it a go. So this is batch number 1, bottled at 59.3%. I really like Kilkerran, and to be honest, I think it was a good idea to do a heavily peated one, but I think that it might have been more of a sort of a marketing thing, just because their standard stuff is smoky, but not really smoky. It's quite Campbeltown-y, Springbanky. It's got smoke to it, but it's not tons. Admittedly, I think the 12 is smokier than a 10-year-old Springbank, but still, it's not hugely smoky. So this is peated to 80 parts per million, or ppm, however you want to say it, which is considerably higher than pretty much everything else on the peat spectrum. Ardbeg, that's about 50-55 parts per million. Lagavulin, I think that's 35 to 40, so much lower than this. And also it's interesting because it does state, I can't remember if it says on the label. No, it doesn't. Okay, but basically, if you do a bit of research, you can find out that they've used a combination of wet and dry peat, which does impact the flavour. For me personally, the smoke on this comes across, at least on the nose, very kind of organic and kind of not spirity, but like old schooly smoke. It's not more of a modern smoke. It is a bit more of a earthier, wetter smoke. Is the only way I can describe it. Wet smoke doesn't make any sense really, but you know what I mean. I mean, for me, it smells lovely. It does smell a bit like if you've been to a special tasting where they bring out something that's definitely young, but it is going to be really good. I think if this was a bit older, it would be exceptional, but we'll see how it goes. So there's quite a bit of lemon in there. Yeah, lemon, sherbety sweetness to it. But it's all kind of surrounded by this earthy smoke. Yeah, it's a bit like digging up some lemons. That's what I'm thinking of right now. Not that I've ever done that, but if you had some lemons in the garden. I mean, where else do you have lemons? Anyway. Ah. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Okay. Everything I said about this being a bit young, retract that. I don't care. I think that's brilliant. This is a personal thing though. So if you're not a huge fan of smoke, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this at all, whatsoever. And if you want a bit more maturity or age to your whiskey, again, probably not. But as it is, it's great. It's so kind of chocolate mud cake with sherbet, lemons, and earth. Just everything. Smoke. The smoke is extremely good. It's kind of like brisket, like really kind of meaty smokiness to it. Yeah, and it is strong at 59%. It comes across as pretty full on. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to that. See what happens. I haven't tried this with water, so hopefully something happens. See, on the nose it's become even more kind of like damp. Like it's sort of like a earthy, seasidiness. It's got quite a herbal element to it actually with the water. I think it was something that I couldn't quite detect before. The water's kind of brought out this kind of, herby, minty kind ofness to it. There's not much fruitiness to it. It's mainly, but that's still really strong. It's going to take quite a bit of water, but I think as it is, I'm going to add a bit more water to that. What little I've got left. Personally, I don't think it needs huge amounts of water to enjoy. I think it's kind of fine as it is. It is strong, but it does work. And if you're a really big fan of smoke, I think it works. And it's definitely something different. And to be honest, it's really hard to find. I mean, it was released a few weeks ago. I don't think you can get it anywhere now. To be honest, it sold out in most places very quickly. But it is something that I think is very, very intrinsically brilliant and just works really well. But as I said, if you don't like smoke, don't bother. Just don't bother. It will be a horrible bowl of nasty whiskey for you. But for me, this is excellent. And it's not something that I could drink on a regular basis just because it's cask strength and it's so intense. But it is something that I think I would like to drink on a semi-regular basis. Maybe at the end of a night, of drinking other whiskey that isn't as strong as this. It's got quite a oiliness to it actually. Yeah, kind of this nice, it's just oily. It's coming off really quite oily now. It's very nice, very nice. I would give this, I think 89 out of 100, if I'm being honest. I think it's really good, but I can't give it higher than 89 just because there's just not enough to it. The stuff that it's got is great. It just needs that little extra to push it over, but it doesn't have it at the moment. I think if this was 2 years older, even a little bit older, it would be amazing. Easily in the 90s, but at the moment it's just falls short. Oh, it's got such a good smell to it. It is a bit like being on it is a bit like walking around peat. If you've walked around where they are using peat fires, it smells like that. It's really good. It becomes much oilier on the palate the more water you add. At least I've found that. It's become really nice and oily. And yeah, that smoke is really, really primal, but it's great. So yeah, that's my review for the Kilkerran Heavily Peated. Not sure what I'm going to do next, but I'll see how it goes. So yeah, thanks for watching.